to him by sticking around. The gang all on Iwo Jima got one flag and it's sticking the ground, setting up shop. Think I got the message across. Came for the titles and press of the watch. We play at the levels of Letterman jocks. Pins on the jacket, the man's abundant. The point of the road was banned and rugged. Hushing, I'm applying no pants in London. The products are not being scared of some judgment. Gotta stay in the cut you off if you ain't making the cut. Couldn't tell you who the hell is behind us. You start to forget when you stay in the front of it's up. And it's up for grabs, no remorse for who I'm taking it from. Numbers I give on my scoreboard is the only form of us staying in touch, that's staying enough. It's time to receive all of the favors I've done. Too late for y'all to switch teams, everybody getting big leagues. Product flying out the shelf, what's in store for us? Known to hit a hole in one, look at the crowd and shoulder shrug. Shots are limited, I'm scared mango with the golden gun. Posted up, ready for whatever, boy, you know what's up. Time's close, I whittled them down. Sticking to them by sticking around. The gang all on Iwo Jima got one flag and it's sticking the ground, setting up shop. Think I got the message across. Came for the titles and press of the watch. We play at the levels of Letterman jocks. Shout out to Steve, the boy getting love from the harsh critics. Strauss hit me bi-weekly to tell me keep taking it further. You aren't finished and I gotta listen. Ain't son to believe in and see that I'm actually breathing and doing it real time. Love to pull an idea out thin air, act on it and profit in real life. If we not aligned, don't present me a dotted line. Yeah, I'm a QB, but I ain't handing on nothing for someone to monetize. And it goes to the birds too. Can't give it a time of $1, so cut her eyes. They get X-out for they had the potential to be my ex. I know all the plays, I'm a seasoned vet. Yeah. Always showing up, known to hit a hole in one. Look at the crowd and shoulder shrug. Shots are limited, I'm scared mango with the golden gun. Posted up, ready for whoever, boy, you know what's up. Time's close, I whittled them down. Sticking to them by sticking around. The gang all on Iwo Jima got one flag and it's sticking the ground, setting up shop. Think I got the message across. Came for the titles and press of the watch. We play at the levels of Letterman jocks. Time's close, I whittled them down. Sticking to them by sticking around. The gang all on Iwo Jima got one flag. Yeah.
Some people love me, and they don't even know I have a hard time loving myself. Some people judge me, and they don't even know I have a hard time judging myself. Life gets ugly, but I grab a paintbrush and paint a pretty smile on myself. Mouth stay shut even when I need help. In too deep in the water, Mike Phelps. Swimming lessons, I still got many unanswered questions. Sick of the anger, sick of depression. Wanna be grateful, count your blessings. Just give me my salad, you keep the dressing. Cause I'm cream of the crop, he paid the price, I'm worth a lot. He told me go, why would I stop? Rest on my thoughts, jump off the tire rope. D'Lo Brown with the frog splash. Leaps of faith, what I call that. If you hit my line for the old me, when I hang up on you, don't call back. I ain't gon' block my blessings, I'd rather block your number. Life taught me so many lessons, Been down bad, never under. That's breath in my lungs. Some people die young, where I come from. Woke up and gave thanks to Father and Son. Filled with the Spirit, I shine like the sun. Ghost in me, but I ain't haunted. Bad vibes, keep them, don't want it. Pride hard to swallow, doggone it. And you were really never my opponent. I'm fighting evil, man, they hearts black. They wanted my life, told them back. Got an itch for sin, can't scratch that. Keep the truth loaded in the black gap. Just know if I said it, I'm in it, and they gon' take it back. Learn the game brighter than my granddaddy's Cadillac. Young man, oh so, imagine that. Ain't in my control, gotta pray, let them handle that. God hit my line, get me to play. Roger that, gang torn, alright, you hate like a running back. If you ain't catch everything I said, better run it back. Eating up this beat, break bread, where your sandwich at, y'all? Thought I was done? No, this beat ain't like Kobe, I'm too full. My God, sick old mode, he too cold. I'm skating on beats, frozen with the flow.
I don't think they running at my pace. Jordan 1s, gotta keep them laced. If she bad, I might have to get a taste. Whip go vroom, I'll set them on a chase. I don't think they running at my pace. Jordan 1s, gotta keep them laced. If she bad, I might have to get a taste. deal, dog. I don't think they running at my pace. Jordan 1s, gotta keep them laced. If she bad, I might have to get a taste. Whip go vroom, all set, I'm on a chase. I don't think they running at my pace. Jordan 1s, gotta keep them laced. If she bad, I might have to get a taste. Whip go vroom, all set, I'm on a chase.
Here we go, at the top of the class on a roll, and it's time to run it up, yeah you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor, ayy, on a roll, here we go. Yeah, we winning by a landslide. Never see me coming, I'm a landmine. Yeah, I ain't taking orders in command like, yeah, you about to see me on demand like, you know on demand. If you ain't know, you about to understand. Yeah, I got the team by my side, right hand. Yeah, take it to a string, you ain't seen it like that. Yeah, and it's the dream, and we coming for the bag. Yeah, and we ain't never going back now. Future expedited, now we on the fast track now. They won't lend a hand, now they see us on the map now. It's time to act out. Here we go, at the top of the class on a roll, and it's time to run it up, yeah you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor, ayy, on the roll, here we go, yeah, at the top of the class on a roll, ayy, and it's time to run it up, yeah you know, yeah, maxed out, put the pedal to the floor, yeah, on the roll, here we go, here we go. Here we go, at the top of the class on a roll, and it's time to run it up, yeah you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor, ayy, on a roll, here we go, yeah, at the top of the class on a roll, ayy, and it's time to run it up, yeah you know, yeah, maxed out, put the pedal to the floor, yeah, on a roll, here we go, here we go. Here we go. On a roll, here we go.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Frankie Candles live stream every single weekday right here at 5:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right after ATB. Shout out to my boy DZ. And by every single weekday at 5:45 p.m., guys, I do mean every single weekday except for Monday, because sometimes there's holidays. But what is going on, everybody? Thank you all for tuning in. I appreciate every single one of you guys for spending your precious time here with your boy Frankie Candles and the Candle Mafia to do 2 hours of TA on this crazy asset class we call crypto. Is this thing going to the ground, guys? Everybody's all scared. Rectember. September's always a bearish month for Bitcoin. Monthly red dot on Bitcoin. We got the blood diamond on the monthly confirmed for Ethereum. Are we going to zero? We might be, guys. But we're going to be trying to figure that out on today's show. We're going to be talking about some of those key levels to the downside we have to keep our eye on. And guys, for this show, I'm actually going to take a little bit. We do this once in a while. I'm going to be taking a little bit of a step back to take a look at the market from more of a zoomed out perspective. Because, you know, I was talking with the Premium Discord earlier this morning about how we could be entering kind of the difficult / boring / feet dragging part of the cycle here. And basically what that is, or what that does, is cause a lot of confusion, and it kind of makes for some choppy trading. So I want to take a zoom out, talk about where we are in the 4-year cycle, and kind of talk about where I think price can go. And I want to talk about some of those more macro targets. As you guys know, in the previous weeks, we have looked at that 786, that macro 786 Fibonacci retracement level, where we could potentially come down and put in a higher low. So I want to take a zoom out today, and I want to take a bigger look at the macro, guys. And then obviously we'll take a look at all of the we'll take a look at all the local price action as well. And then halfway through the stream, guys, don't spam them just yet. But get them ready, because you got to start spamming those altcoins. About halfway through the stream, we will be taking a look at the altcoins. But guys, we got an awesome show for you tonight. We're going to try to figure out, we're going to give you the bullish case, the bearish case, and then kind of let you guys know what I think is more probable, or let you know which way I'm leaning. That's kind of usually my shtick. But, guys, before we jump into it, don't forget to smash that like button. Every 100 likes we get, you guys get a spin on the wheel of pain and pleasure, where you guys all have a chance to win some free crypto, or if we hit our like goals this week, which we might if Bitcoin does something, and we can get more than 16 people, we will add, if we hit our like goals, we will add some fun stuff to the giveaways. Sometimes we do merch. Sometimes we do premium Discord memberships. You never know what you're going to get for free. One thing's for sure, if you hang out here long enough, you'll probably wind up with a Frankie Candles membership, because I think last week we had a record-breaking, like, multiple hundreds of members added to the memberships, which is insane. A big thanks to the community gifting those memberships. These are not just people randomly finding these memberships. They are constantly gifted, so if you hang out in the chat, you might wind up getting a green name, and if you're wondering what that is, it's simply a Frankie Candles YouTube membership, and it will give you access to some elite emojis, such as a crowd favorite, the inhaler emoji, or I think we're working on a Mrs. Candle's hand emoji, guys. I think we are working on a Mrs. Candle hand emoji. But, guys, before we jump into it, let's just go ahead and say what is going on in the chat. Don't forget to smash that like button. Real quick, I do want to cover the super chats. We already got a super chat from Dave. Shout out to Dave Digital. Says, okay, I'm ready. And we were in the waiting room until he sent that chat, and then I ran the intro because that's exactly, we were waiting for Dave to get here so we could start the show. But shout out to Dave Digital. Thank you for all the support, bro. Thank you for the super chat. Shout out to you. Shout out to Lakeshore Crypto saying LFG. Frankie FTW, I think that means for the win. I'm just kidding. I know that's what it means, guys. But shout out to Lakeshore Crypto. I appreciate you. Thank you for the kind words. Thank you for the super chat. And thank you for showing some love to your boy Frankie Candles. I do appreciate it. Let's see who else we got in chat here. Oh, hold up. No, Golden. Shout out to Golden. This is why we broke the record for the amount of members that joined the Frankie Candles memberships. Shout out to Golden, gifting another 50 memberships. Golden, if you are in the free Discord, please send me a DM. Please send me a DM. I need to talk to you. I need to get behind your brain and figure out what is going on. What is, I got to talk to you, bro. You're an absolute legend. I appreciate the support endlessly. Thank you so much. And I know the Candle Mafia is absolutely beside themselves. And Golden's out here just making me not a liar, saying if you hang out in the Frankie Candles live stream long enough, you will wind up with a green name. Shout out to Golden. I really do appreciate you. Thank you so much, bro. Especially recently, you've been showing so much love. I appreciate it, bro. Thank you so much. Real quick, we got DZ's Peanuts. Shout out to DZ's Peanuts. Said, I'm ready for you too, Frank. Let's go. Shout out to DZ's Peanuts. So, guys, grab your popcorn. Grab your peanuts. We got DZ's Peanuts in the chat. Shout out to everybody. Shout out to the Candle Mafia. And without further ado, guys, shout out to Emax. Shout out to Rasta. Shout out to Herwig. Rasta just got a membership. Shout out to Evans. Shout out to Green Day Profits. And guys, please, for the love of God, the other TJ in the chat, what is going on, bro? Kush is my cologne. What is going on? Sir Quest and Craig. Last but not least, real quick, guys, before we jump into it, show some love to our mods in the chat. You guys know who they are. Show them some love. They help us out a ton. Yeah, I think we got Crypto Anon, Rob the Crypto Snob. I'm sure. I know Tyler Durden's here. Tony D. I'm sure Crypto Anon, I said. Crypto Billy somewhere. I don't know. Shout out to Hannah King, Princess of the Candle Mafia in the chat. And Tony D says, everyone show some love to Golden. He has dropped over 1,000 on the channel in the past 2 weeks, guys. In the past 2 weeks. Is that true, Tony? Tony's out here doing the math. Shout out to Golden, guys. These memberships that you're getting gifted for free were paid for by somebody, and it wasn't me. It was Golden, spending over $1,000 on the channel. Golden, we appreciate you endlessly, bro, and everybody who gifts memberships on this channel. Absolutely insane. It really is a testament to the Candle Mafia. But, guys, without further ado, oh my God, Bubba's Crypto with a super chat. Thank you so much, bro. I appreciate you. He said, I don't think we need any more memberships at the moment, so I'll just shout out the mods. Shout out to Bubba's Crypto, bro. Thank you for shouting out the mods. We love you, Bubba's. Absolute, like one of the OSGs of the channel. I super appreciate you for being here, bro. And without further ado, Tony D says, yes, every 50 costs, so every 50 memberships that are gifted is $250. Golden is an absolute madman. Shout out to him. Yeah, Jay Long said Golden and Frankie are now the GOATs. Shout out to Golden. But guys, without further ado, let's go ahead and jump right on into the charts because we do have some interesting stuff popping up here. It's a little bit confusing, so let's try to break it down. Let's jump right into it. Let's go. So, guys, here we are on the Bitcoin chart. Now, I want to touch on this stuff because there are a few things that we're seeing. Now, you can see these lines were actually from, I believe, Friday. We were looking at a potential daily bullish divergence coming in here at some point on Bitcoin. We were looking at it potentially happening over the weekend. We didn't get it. We actually did not get it yesterday either. But we were looking for those lower lows on our price action with those higher lows on our momentum waves, giving us that potential bullish divergence on the daily time frame, which we've been talking about, that being a little bit stronger of a signal that we would get some kind of a move to the upside. So I just wanted to touch on that just because I saw these lines drawn here. So that is still in play. You can see we are actually starting to see it play out. It's starting to form that bull div a little bit, but we got to get that green dot on the daily, and there's actually some things now popping up on the 4-hour chart, though not confirmed, could wind up stepping on this signal. But first, guys, I do want to just go ahead and turn off our TA and start off on the higher time frames because, like I said, I do want to take a little bit more of a zoomed out view today. I'm actually going to turn off Market Cypher A. Shout out to Market Cypher. But really what I want to do here, guys, is I'm going to start off on the weekly time frame. Now, if you remember to last week, or really, I mean, if you've watched this show at any point in the past month or two, kind of my sentiment, at least since July, basically the middle of July, was we were looking for a move down before potentially putting in a higher low and then continuing to the upside to continue our bullish trend on the weekly time frame. Now, this sentiment has changed since, right? And what kind of one of those things that one of the main things that is making us shift that sentiment a little bit is the money flow on these higher time frames. Now, this is going to start sounding familiar, but money flow continuously coming out on our weekly time frame here. You could see it on our weekly money flow creeping down towards that zero line. This would indicate a potential downtrend continuation on the higher time frames. But if we work our way down to the 6-day, you could see money flow continuously coming out here, just continuing to hunt towards that zero line, looking for the red dot. VWAP is starting to come up, but we're not really close enough to really make a decision based off of this, but just generally one thing we can see here is that money flow is coming out. Moving down to our 5-day, our money flow has crossed over into the red. It is locally coming back up, looking to cross over into the green. And the one thing I will say here is you do have your VWAP trying to get up towards that zero line, which could potentially help us pull this money flow back into the green. However, we have to be careful here because you can see we've already spent a significant amount of time in the green, and I do think if you pop back into the green here, it could potentially just be a little fake out into the green before continuing down. So if I were to take something away from this 5-day time frame, I would be seeing this as money flow in the red, not bullish money flow coming up, right? Although I know it is technically coming up towards that zero line, but it's all about context, guys, right? It's not like we've been in a big red wave for a long time, and now we're creeping up towards that zero line, right? We were in the red, we came into the green, we've been in the green on the money flow for about, call it 118 days without this fake out. And so, once I do think it would be a little bit more probable that if we do wind up getting this green dot on the 5-day and money flow to come back into the green, we may just put in a lower high here, right? You have a high, lower high, lower high, just kind of making it consistently coming to the downside. So that's kind of what I'm looking for on the 5-day. But, with the information that we actually have printed here on the chart, money flow is in the red. That would indicate that the downtrend may be able to continue to the downside. For 4-day money flow as well, like this is another reason why I would be very cautious about this being a fake out into the green if you do get the crossover. It's because the money flow on all these other daily time frames look horrible, right? So like even though the 5 days kind of creeping back up, right? 6-day coming straight out, weekly is coming straight out, and then your 4-day as well coming straight out. So these are likely to cross over into the red as well, indicating the same exact thing as the 5-day. It would be indicating that the long-term trend may continue to the downside, right? And this has been my sentiment for quite some time now. And one of those big things, as you guys know, we were looking for a potential higher low here. However, with the money flow coming out, that was kind of our first thing. The money flow on the higher time frames coming out was one of those first things that was making us think like, hey, we may not get this higher low. And I'm going to go over a few other things that are actually pretty bearish, right? So my general sentiment right now, guys, remains somewhat similar. I do think that because of the money flow on the higher time frames, market cipher B is not looking great, right? Especially on the higher time frames. So I do think we could have a little bit more downside to come, right? And obviously, on top of that, not only is it Rectember, which is obviously September is typically a bearish month for crypto, but on top of that, guys, if we start looking at some of this stuff, right? We've been looking at this recently a lot just because we've been interacting with it. But that 200-week moving average, right? Let's pull that up real quick. 200-week moving average, come back up to the weekly. We are now, living below this 200-week moving average. As you guys know, I was talking about how, just because we closed a weekly candle below that 200-week moving average, it's not necessarily like immediately the most bearish thing in the world, because obviously we have closed candles above the 200-week moving average before breaking back below, and we have also closed, multiple weekly candles below the moving average before breaking back to the upside. So we were being very cautious of a fake out like we saw here and here. However, you can see we've now closed 1, 2, 3 weekly candles, and we now are currently living below on the current candle. So this is still remaining pretty bearish, right? And the thing that makes this even more bearish is the fact that we have bearishly retested that 200-week, right? We've already tried to attack that 200-week moving average to get back above it, and we got a pretty nasty rejection. So, being below this 200-week moving average, this is it's becoming more and more bearish every day that goes by, right? Every day that goes by or every week that goes by that we're not back above it is very bearish. And especially this big rejection and this strong rejection we got off this level, really makes this start to look like maybe we are going to get stuck below this. And then on top of it being Rectember, is on top of the monthly red dot printing on the Bitcoin chart, right? Monthly red dots do not happen very often, guys. If we jump back to the Bitstamp chart where we have a little bit more price history, and we take a look at where what happens with these red dots, right? We did this last week, and you can see I'll just put a red line, or I'll put a vertical line. Let me go ahead and unhide the TA here. I'm just gonna put a vertical line over every single red dot on the monthly, and we can just go back and simply see what has happened in the past, right? Now, obviously, this red dot was at the peak of the last bull market, or the 2017 bull market. So obviously, we're not expecting that kind of downturn. But you can see, we are more likely in an area like this, in my opinion, in this current cycle. We are more in a situation similar to this, right? So, you can see red dot here. Pretty big dip, right? If we measure that, I know it looks a little funky because it's on the monthly time frame. It's a 36% dump, guys. That is not something to scoff at. Even right here, this was obviously a black swan event in March of 2020. I think you guys know what was going on there. But this was obviously a pretty massive dump as well. If I just go ahead and measure it really quickly. Now, again, obviously, I do want to press that this was a black swan. Nice little almost 60% dump on that monthly red dot. And then, obviously here, we got a pretty big dump. That was beginning of the bear market, and then the first peak of the bull market started turning back down once we got that monthly red dot, and now we are getting this red dot here. Now, the one thing that does have me a little concerned about this is this red dot is pretty dang close to the zero line, right? And I'm actually pretty shocked that this is not a blood diamond. Maybe we see a blood diamond pop up here at some point, but a lot of times when you get those red dots really close to the zero line, it does result in a blood diamond, right? Which obviously indicates a decent bit of downside. So, regardless of if the blood diamond is there or not, this red dot, especially with the fact that it's tight to the zero line like that, with your money flow rolling over, would be somewhat, reasonable to be somewhat concerned about that, right? So that is kind of, the list of bearish puzzle pieces here are pretty strong, right? Monthly red dot, below the 200-week moving average, money flow coming out on the weekly, as well as all the higher daily time frames, and it's September, right? Typically a bearish month for Bitcoin. So we have a lot of things that are pointing to the downside here, not only technically, but also cyclically and timing-wise, right? And just historically. So I do think, for those reasons, I do think we could wind up seeing a bit more downside for Bitcoin. But the question is, and this is kind of what the question has been all last week, was are we going to nuke from here, or are we going to simply get a bounce to come in before rolling back over and coming to the downside? And that's kind of the part of the analysis I want to get into. I want to talk about the medium term, the more local levels to the downside, not the scalp levels to the downside, but medium term levels to the downside. Where can we expect to come down to if we get a significant dump to come in September? And then I kind of want to talk about the apocalyptic situation. You guys know I am generally generally in the camp of the bottom being in at 15.5. But that doesn't mean that we can't break that level, right? Again, I do believe that the bottom is in at 15.5, but I want to talk about some of these lower levels and if we are going to come down significantly, where we can get, where we should be looking for some significant bounces. All right, let's see here. Give us the sauce. Shout out to Trey. What is going on, Trey? Thank you for being here. Sir Quest says, nuke it. Let's see. Darren Dusting says, red dot is a trigger. Won't be a blood diamond because of the EMAs being constricted. Blood diamond. Okay, hold up a second. Darren does things. If I finish this chat, if I finish this message, and you tell me that you know how the blood diamond is printed, and you've been holding this information hostage, I'll thank you for sharing the information with me. Shout out to Darren Does Things. Let's see. He says, EMAs being constricted. Blood diamond is a close below all EMAs on market cipher A and VWAP cross red dot. Interesting. Darren, did CryptoFace tell you that? Shout out to Darren Does Things. That would actually make a lot of sense. I don't have the EMAs on my market cipher A. I could turn them back on. I'm actually interested in that, though, because interesting, because we asked CryptoFace what printed a blood diamond, and he was like low-key, like, he like kind of told us, but he's like, if you figure it out, you figure it out. He's like, I'm not going to tell you straight up, and I don't blame him. But interesting, Darren, if you have figured that out, bro, shout out to you. He said, I checked. Okay, shout out to Darren Does Things. Okay, interesting. I know what I'm doing for the rest of the night, that's for sure. I'm going back and back testing that. Let's go. Shout out to Darren. But there you go, right? So if that's correct, I guess that's why there's no blood diamond on the monthly. But still generally a pretty bearish signal, obviously. But just continuing on here, guys, I want to talk about kind of the likelihood that we either, just nuke from here and come down. And if we do, what levels should we be watching? And I want to talk about the chances of potentially getting another retracement to the upside before rolling back to the downside. Shout out to Hannah King, said the fact that there is so much bearishness in the market makes me think the market makers pump, not financial advice. Shout out to Hannah King. Literally about to get into that right now. Shout out to Hannah King. Shout out to Hannah King for reading my mind. The princess of the CandleMafia has spoken. Shout out to Hannah. But let's see here. Okay. So obviously, guys, I actually do want to pull this up on the, I want to pull this up on the Bybit chart just to make it a little bit cleaner. And let me actually, I'm actually going to go ahead and hide all of this stuff. Okay. So obviously, we have been looking at the market, we've been looking at this main value area range with our lows down here close to 26K and the highs up here at about 29.5, 29.6. So obviously, guys, with the volume profiles, we know once you lose the high, you're looking for a move down to the POC and then the value area low, and then vice versa, right? I'm not going to go over that today just because we've covered it a lot in the past as we've been, just looking at the same exact price action for the past 2 weeks. But really, what we have to ask ourselves here, and something that I've been looking at here, we know that we have the bullish divergences on the 4-hour time frame with the money flow coming up, which generally, obviously, we have kind of been playing around with the money flow here on the 4-hour, but generally, it is still coming up, right? We have a big, massive red wave. We came into the green, and for the most part, we've been making, somewhat higher lows, right? So this is generally trending to the upside as far as money flow, at least on the 4-hour. So this could indicate, if we get another crossover into the green, a potential move up before rolling back over to the downside. Now, again, I want to talk about, there are some sketchy things popping up. I'll just kind of tease it right here. Okay, go to the Heikinashi. Okay, I guess it disappeared. Or maybe it was on the Bitstamp chart potentially. Or maybe it disappeared. Okay, Yellow X was printing on the 4-hour, but it did just go away, I guess. That red dot is not there anymore. So, but regardless of the Yellow X, what are we looking at here, right? Let me turn off Market Cipher A. What are we looking at here? We are at the low of the range. We're at the value area low. Again, we had that 4-hour bullish divergence confirmed with money flow coming up, which oftentimes marks a significant bottom. And it doesn't mean it's the bottom, but, we were looking at that, and that's why we were looking for this move up to 28K, which we got almost to the dollar. And we have to understand that, we haven't really broken, where we put that bullish divergence in on the 4-hour. We haven't really broken this wick to the downside yet, so we could potentially still see this get a little bit more upside before rolling back over. Now, if we had money flow coming out aggressively here, or if we start to see money flow come out aggressively here with this red dot, maybe you see money flow come back like that, then that would be a different story. But, just looking at this, we are generally trending to the upside. Now, I don't want to call for like crazy bullish movement, by any means. I don't want to say that I'm super bullish, but we just have to watch out for the short-term noise, potential pop back to the upside before rolling back over. And let's come up to the daily real quick. Another thing we were looking at, obviously, was that daily bullish divergence. Now, again, I want to press here. We are at the value area low of the range. This is not typically where we're looking for shorts, right? This was the place to look for shorts. I mean, in general, in the premium Discord, we were looking for the shorts up here, right? This is really the place where you want to get the short from. But if you miss it here, you might want to look at the bearish retest of the value area high, etc. And then if you miss the short down here, you might want to wait for a lower high to come in, which did come in at 28K. With this daily bull div, right, which we don't have just yet, but you have the lower lows on your price action starting to form. You have your momentum wave setting up to potentially put in a higher low on your momentum wave, giving you that bullish divergence. If we wind up getting this, guys, now here's the thing. We were looking at 3 major areas for a lower high to come in before continuing our move to the downside, right? Like this was we were looking for this forever, right? We were looking for the downtrend to continue because of money flow on the higher time frames. We got stuck below the value area high. We got the move down to the value area low. Then we looked for the bounce. We found the bounce down here up to 28K. And when we were looking for this bounce, there were some very specific levels we were looking for the rejection, right? One of the levels was right here at about 28K. We had a lot of things within this level, lots of confluence to look for that rejection. However, there was another level, and I talked about this level being kind of the more important level to test before rolling back over and getting significant downside. But if we pull our fib from the absolute swing high, the yearly high here at about 31.8, 31.9, call it whatever you want, depending on the exchange you're looking at. But if you pull your fib all the way from the high, all the way to the low, now these levels do shift depending on what exchange you're looking at. If you're looking at this on the Bitstamp chart, it will look slightly different. However, what we're looking for here is going to be if we can get a move back up. Now, we talked about this last week, and I said I don't really know if we're going to get that move up because we got such a strong rejection here at the POC / macro value area high / you guys will remember we were looking at a way more macro value area high that we are currently getting stuck underneath. I will just pull that really quickly so you guys can see. Let's see. Let me pull it from here to here, I believe. Yeah. So not only did we reject the POC of our local range at 28K, but this was also the bearish retest of our most macro range, right? Which is another very, very key level to get a rejection at. I think we also had a local golden pocket in here. And then at some point, I believe the 200-day moving average was right up in that area as well. So this whole area was a very strong level to get a rejection for, which is why it was one of our reasons, one of our rejection levels. And but you guys will know we had this other level up here, which was getting a little closer to the value area high of the range. And what this level is and why this level is, why, like, you might be thinking to yourself, well, Frank, we came up, we were looking for the lower high, right? We were looking for the bounce here. We were looking for it to be a lower high before rolling back down to lower prices. So, why aren't you satisfied with this lower high? Now, this could be indeed wait, hang on a second. Hold up. Hang on. I'm coming back to chat in a second. Let me finish this. I'm coming back to chat. You guys are menaces. Let's go. Shout out to Tony D or Dave. I don't know who got that done. I'm coming back to that in a second. But real quick, I want to get this out. You might think to yourself, why are you not satisfied with this lower high? And the reason being is it could be very well the lower high that we're looking for, right? This could be the lower high. We could come down from here. However, here's the thing. This golden pocket between about 28,715 and 28, I can't even see it, 28,715 and 28,979. This golden pocket is the actual golden pocket of this entire move down. And, from a market structure perspective, this would be where you'd be looking for the lower high between this golden pocket and this 7/8 Fibonacci retracement level, right? So when you say, why wouldn't you be satisfied with this lower high? It's not that I'm not satisfied with that lower high. This very well could indeed be the lower high. However, I wouldn't be shocked. Especially if you get the bull div on the daily. Now, again, I want to be very candid about this. I am not calling for much higher prices. I'm not saying that this daily bull div is going to launch us to new yearly highs by any means. But what I am saying is if we get this daily bull div and we do get some kind of crazy pump in here, this is really a big level to watch because we never came up and tapped this golden pocket. And if we're going to put that higher low in on that golden pocket retracement of this entire move down, this would be the golden pocket to watch, not the POC or the local golden pocket that we were looking at down here. I believe that was kind of a wonky, not a wonky golden pocket, but a local golden pocket from this little high here, I believe. Yeah, it was a golden pocket 786 retracement, not pulled to the scam wick, but it's not just that random. This is the full golden pocket 786 Fibonacci retracement level. And on top of that, if we do wind up getting a bounce off of this value area low, you have to think to yourself, are we about to fill this entire range again? And if that is the case, you would be looking for the longs down here to bring you back up to the high of the range to potentially look for shorts, right? So like this is already just based off of the way we trade the volume profiles. This is already going to be a hot area to look for shorts, at least for me, right? Not financial advice. This is for entertainment purposes only, but this is basically going, like, that's the golden pocket you want to reject. Now, it doesn't mean that we're guaranteed to have to come up here because that's the golden pocket retracement of the whole move. But if we do wind up getting a move up, and once we start, we'll look at the local price action again, or in a second, I should say. But we start pushing up back towards that POC. If we're not going to put in another lower high from this high here, if we don't start rejecting some more local golden pockets, right? Let's pull it from this recent high all the way to the recent low. Like, if we start pushing back above this golden pocket, you got to start thinking to yourself, like, hey, like, are we about to break the 786? And if so, are we about to flip the POC? And if so, could we possibly come test these levels? And in my opinion, I do think it's possible, right? I don't want to say it's likely, but it's something that I'm really keeping an extra eye out for, like, in the back of my head. Because again, there are many reasons why this might have been the rejection, right? Again, it's not just the POC. It's also the value area high retest, the 200-week moving average retest, the 200-day moving average retest as well. Many reasons why that might have been the rejection. But if we get some kind of random pump up here, what would wreck the bulls more than getting a pump from here, ripping past the POC, approaching the 30K level, maybe even shooting up towards that 786 before finally rolling back over and getting that big move down to some of those lower prices, which we're going to get to in just a second. Just for, quick, if you're here trying to get the levels to the downside have not changed for the most part, right? Same levels we were looking at on Friday. But again, we talked about this yesterday. Still somewhat sussed out that we haven't tapped this golden pocket. So again, I don't know if it's likely, but it is something I'm just keeping in the back of my mind. So these are still going to be very, very key levels to watch. Now again, this is coming in at 28,715, or the beginning or the bottom of this golden pocket is coming in at 28,715. And if you come to the Bitstamp chart, this is obviously going to come in a little bit different at about 29,338. So it comes up a little bit higher on the Bitstamp chart, but nonetheless, pretty much the same exact range, right? You still have the value area high in a very similar area, but I just, I like to trade off of the buy bit levels. They seem, or they tend to be some of the most accurate levels that I've ever found, or one of the most accurate levels on an exchange, the most accurate exchange levels I've ever found. I don't know. The levels hit on this is why we were looking at this buy bit POC again, and not the Bitstamp POC for that rejection, right? That's why we were looking at this. That's why I marked the buy bit POC on the Bitstamp chart, because I know the buy bit levels are very accurate. So I knew there was going to be a chance that we would reject that level. And what happened? We yeeted up to it and yeeted right back down. So with that being said, another thing to realize here is that your POC of the range on Bitstamp, on the Bitstamp exchange, is at 29,250, right? Where is 29,250? I mean, you're right up in this same area between the golden pocket. 29,250 sits right in the middle of this local range here, right near your value area high. So this whole area is going to be a big level to watch. If we get some kind of a crazy pump out of nowhere, especially if it comes out of nowhere, and it's somewhat suspicious, right? I would be looking for this golden pocket 786 value area high rejection. And again, this is a very, very big area, right? Really between 30,100 and 28,650, or 28,700. But you have it all broken down into kind of separate areas, right? You can look at the golden pocket as one area of rejection, and then you can kind of look at your value area high 786 as another rejection. How you draw is up to you, but the idea is you want to be looking at that full Fibonacci retracement because likely if you are going to put that lower high in, it is likely going to come in at that golden pocket or that 786 or somewhere in between, which in this case, your value area high and your POC on Bitstamp are coming right in between these levels. So this whole area is definitely a hot place to look for a short. And then, even if I pull this local range, right, on this area of consolidation that we had up here, we pull this locally. Let me go ahead and unextend it to the right. I mean, you got your whole value area within here as well. So if you can just always look at this range if you do wind up getting up here, you start getting bearish confirmations at the macro value area high and this local value area high, you can kind of use that to get your footing once price gets up there. You can use this value area to kind of find an entry. But that is just one thing I want to point out, right? Like what would, and especially if that daily bull div prints on the daily here, again, I don't know if that's likely to happen, but if we do get that, it could be a signal that you are going to get some kind of a pump here. The only weird thing is you're going to have to break this high. It's very, very hard. And like I said, we are in a very, very confusing point of the market right now, guys. This is a very weird spot in the market. I talked about this earlier today, comparing this to the 2019, 2020, we could just be kind of entering the chop phase, right? I do this all the time. If you go ahead and grab a box here, right, I'm just going to highlight kind of, the range here. Without the deviation on the Black Swan event, we kind of just bing-bonged around here for quite some time, right? Between $12 and about $7,500, $7,000, we kind of just bing-bonged around, ignoring this Black Swan, which was obviously March 2020. We know what was going on. For the most part, this was a very, very long time of very, very boring price action, basically just going sideways forever. And I remember specifically right here just thinking to myself, like, every time you check your phone, Bitcoin's at 10K. And it's just like, are we ever going to break this range ever? And we were in this range for, I think, like 150-something days before we finally broke out into the bull run. So I don't know if we're in this area just yet, but we're definitely somewhere within here when looking at this from a cyclical point of view. And yeah, like we could just be entering that chop sketch point of the market. Are we bull? Are we bear? Very, very confusing. Money flow is usually choppy. So just be careful out there. But again, locally, the question is, are we going to get the move up first or the move down? And the answer to that question, guys, is I can't tell you that. I don't know if we're going to get a move up or a move down. I could simply just show you what's on the charts and bring this information to you. But we do have a red dot on the 2-day. Right? So what I would kind of look for here is we have the red dot printing on the 2-day currently. This would obviously be a little bit more bearish. You guys will know kind of all last week and, on Friday, we were looking for not only that daily bullish divergence, but also a potential bullish divergence here on the 12-hour and the 16-hour, which are likely to print before the daily. And if we get those, it could be a significant signal to get a bounce to come in here. And then if you do wind up getting that bounce, the question is, once you get up to these highs, are you going to break these highs? Once you break these highs, I'm looking for a massive short up at these levels, depending on what price looks like when we get up there. But likely I will be looking for shorts as long as things still look the same on the higher time frames. But these are some of the things I'm looking for to kind of anticipate if we are going to get a move up from here. Now, from a volume profile perspective, we are deviating from the value area low. This is typically where we look for the longs. That's how we caught this long, right? That's how we caught these shorts here. That's how we caught these shorts here. And it all has to do with deviating from the value area. Everybody is coming up. We're breaking out. Oh, my God, Bitcoin to 100K. This is where we look for the shorts, right? And vice versa at the lows. Oh, my God, Bitcoin lost support. We're going to zero. Nope. Looking for the longs here. Get accepted back into the range to shoot back up to the high. So just naturally, being someone who uses the volume profile every single day and as a main part of my trading strategy, this is not necessarily the level to get super, super bearish at, or definitely not a level to be looking for shorts at, right? I would much rather wait for a retracement to come in here, whether it's a lower high from here, or if we yeet up to much higher prices and get a lower high on the higher time frames up here. These are where I would be looking for the shorts. So again, not getting overly bearish, especially when your momentum waves are setting up like this. Now, again, that doesn't mean that we can't just nuke out of nowhere, which is why I'm going to show you these support levels. But again, I really am going to be looking for, if we do get another move down, just keeping an eye on these bullish divergences, because I do think this is probably going to be a time where I do think lower prices are coming. Again, not lower than 15.5, at least at this point. But I do think before we go lower, chances are people are going to get wrecked here. And I think the best way to wreck people as of right now, once you start thinking about how the market wrecks people, I think the best move would be to fake everybody out, especially if we start breaking this POC at 28K. Like, people are going to start thinking, oh my God, everyone was wrong, only to be originally right with their original thesis that we were coming down to lower prices. So that, again, like, still looking at the same things. Like, nothing has really happened here, guys, since last week, right? Like, we just wiggled sideways. Kind of started creeping lower, but only to potentially lock in these bull divs. So that's kind of what I'm looking at for a move to the upside. Now, if we do get some kind of random manipulation to the downside with no signals or warning signs, again, that 4-hour yellow X was flashing before, but it since then has disappeared. But those lower prices to the downside, let me just go over those very, very, very quickly, and then we will go ahead and move on. All right, so let me go ahead and turn this all on. So obviously, guys, if we do wind up getting a random move to the downside, we get no retracement back up. I will be looking down again to this area of consolidation, this previous value area, and simply put, these levels, I'm not even really going to go over these because these remain the same for the past 3 streams, not even for like longer, like the past week and a half. These levels have remained the same, right? First major level of support, in my opinion, if we get a big breakdown here, will come in at the value area high, golden pocket confluence, coming in between 24,296 and 23,821. Now, again, due to the volume profiles, we now have context. This level is important, not only because it's support, but also because it gives us context. If you get below this level and you can't get back above that previous value area high, this is a big indication that we are likely going to see more downside. Where are we likely to go? Well, Creighton C, if you are in the chat right now, go ahead and let them know. If you get stuck under that value area high and we're expecting more downside, where is the next likely place for price to go? There we go. Shout out to CandleMafia. Shout out to Crypto POC, Creighton C coming in with the POC as well. Shout out to Creighton. Shout out to Dave Digital. Said, you don't want to say it again. We don't want to hear it again. Just play with us. Shout out to Dave Digital. But yeah, there you go. Dahal. There we go. POC. If we get stuck underneath this value area high, likely that we'll get a move down to the POC and eventually the value area low, which not only is the value area low of the range, but also is in perfect confluence or almost perfect confluence with the 786 Fibonacci retracement of not the whole move from the bear market bottom to the high, but this low here at 20K, or about, 19.5, I think the wick goes down to, all the way to the yearly high, right? So when you pull your fib from this low to this high, that is the Fibonacci retracement levels that you get, making both of the golden pocket, which again is in confluence with this blue box with the value area high. This golden pocket will be a big level to look for a bounce. If you get stuck underneath it, you're looking eventually to get down to the value area low, which just so happens to be that 786 retracement level, which we know we can also get a big bounce on. So if we get that move down, we know that we could potentially look for some long positions down here, not only because we'd expect to locally get a bounce off of the bottom of our range to come back up to the high, but also because we know this is a significant 786 retracement. So those are kind of the major levels that I'm looking at to the downside. And before we go ahead and move on, guys, I do want to zoom out just a little bit more, and I want to talk about those macro levels to the downside. So let me go ahead and hide this TA. I'm going to go ahead and hide all these current value areas, and I'm going to go ahead and pull some fibs, right? We're going to come up to the weekly time frame, readjust the chart, and I'm going to go ahead and pull these retracement from the bear market bottom all the way to, actually, let me go ahead, turn on the magnet tool so I can get these exact levels to the wick. Let me make sure I have the low here. Okay, so let's go ahead and, oh God, which one of these wicks is lower? Jeez. Hold up. This low, 15,450, 15,437. Okay, so from this low to that high, let me go ahead and extend these levels to the right. Bada boom. There you go. Right? So this is kind of like one of the most important levels to look at. I'm going to come to chat in a second. I see. How are you guys doing this so fast? Shout out to you guys. Hang on. I'm coming to chat in a second. But if you go ahead and pull this full Fibonacci retracement level, right, from the full Fibonacci retracement from the low to the absolute high, our macro golden pocket comes in here between about $21,188 and $21,714, and then your 786 is coming in at 18,953. Now, why am I looking at these levels? Well, the reason being is if this was the actual top of our bear market rally, and we are going to see a break of the structure here on the higher time frames and a dump down to lower prices, these would be very, very, very key levels to look at. Because that that macro golden pocket is even more important than the last golden pocket I showed you pulled from this low to this high. This would be, arguably even more important, right? So if we do get a move down to this level, I do think we could potentially come down and test these levels, before either consolidating more or getting another bounce to the upside. And then that 786, obviously, when you get a big move up and you pull those retracements, like, we look at this all the time on lower time frames, right? Like if I was looking for a potential entry, we typically do look for higher lows or, just big bounces coming in at these Fibonacci retracement levels, right? So this would kind of be the bounce zone, right? It would be, let me grab the box tool. Where is it? Bada boom, right here. This would kind of be that level. We'd be looking for some strong support, right? If you break the 786, or you break the golden pocket, you're looking down towards that 786. Now, if we come back in time here, guys, and we go to the Bitstamp chart, right? We talked about this last week, and I think the fibs are already pulled, right? So you can see here, we have the same exact fib pulled right here. Let me get rid of these lines. We have the same exact fib pulled on these in the 2019 bear market rally / Black Swan event of March of 2020. You can see here, when you pull your fib from the absolute low to the high of your bear market rally, your golden pocket was coming in right here between between about 6 and 7K, just call it. And then your 786 coming in here at about 53.98. And what happened, right? We came up, we topped out at the top of that bear market rally. We bing-bonged around, got a bounce off the golden pocket, lost the golden pocket. And although we wicked way below that 786 to scare everybody out, we still put in a higher low from down here of the bear market, continuing this technical uptrend. And when you look back in hindsight on the weekly chart, it was essentially a 786 retracement, right? You're wicked below, but you close those bodies right on the 786. So we talk about this for quite some time. What is the bottom of this bear market going to look like? Not the bottom, but what is the rest of the bear market going to look like? Well, if it plays out similarly to 2019, we could potentially see that 786 test, right? And if I come back here to the cleaner chart, that 786 test would be quite scary. Right? It would bring us down here to about 19,000, right? And then that's not even accounting for a potential crazy panic wick to the downside, hopefully putting in a higher low. Hopefully we don't make lower lows, but not possible, right? But if you get that crazy panic wick down here, still to put in a higher low, this is kind of what we were just randomly philosophizing or theorizing before we even got this bear market rally. But even when we were up here, we were pulling the same fib, looking for where that macro 786 might be. And if this is indeed the top of the bear market rally, this could be the 786 retracement. And could you imagine all the bears coming out of the woodwork, right? Oh my God, I told you 10K incoming. I told you 10K incoming, right? And then it breaks 19K. I told you if Bitcoin gets anywhere near 17K, guys, they're going to be calling for $7 Bitcoin, right? And what better way to wreck the bears than tickle them with a little wick to make a slightly higher low before yeeting back up, closing above the 786. I mean, likely you're not going to yeet up to higher prices from here, but you'll probably consolidate something like this, and then eventually you'll hit the halving and go off into your next bull run. So I'm not saying this is definitely going to happen, but just something that I'm looking at. This 786 golden pocket retracement zone between, again, the whole area is between 21,714 and 18,953. That is going to be a massive, massive level to watch. And if we go ahead and pull some of our, we'll pull some more volume profiles. You can see your POC of your ultra macro range here is right in between those levels. If I go ahead and pull this range before the actual breakout, unextend it to the right, there we go. You can see your POC is also still in the middle of this retracement, and your value area low, when you pull this range before the breakout, you can see your value area low is in beautiful confluence with this 786, making it, a potentially even strong. And then, if you're looking at this as a value area, guys, right? If you're looking at this as a value area, what would you be expecting if price was coming down there, right? Again, this is the testament to the volume profiles. When in doubt, Look at the volume profile. If we get a move down here, everyone's going to be like, oh my God, we're going to zero. We're going to zero. You know the macro golden pockets here. You're probably going to get a bounce. You know the 786 is down here, but what are you looking for anyway down here? Now, this is, again, if we were trading the weekly chart. I don't swing trade the weekly chart like that, but you know, if you were looking at this on the 15-minute, what would we be looking for if price approached this value area low? We would literally be looking, I mean, and you could even pull this up on like a lower time frame. Like, let's look at it on the daily, right? You have your levels here. And let's say we get down to these prices. Well, we know this is the value area low and the 786, but does that mean that the second we break that 786, we're expecting lower lows? No. What we're looking for down here would literally be exactly what happened in 2019 that I just showed you. We would literally be looking for support, a potential break of this level, a deviation below your value area low, which again is right by that 786, a deviation below that range, before getting bullish confirmations, reclaiming the level, and then blasting off to higher prices. And this is exactly what happened in 2017, right? Now, again, I don't know what the value areas were looking like back then, right? But if we had a value area and we knew that value area low was right here on that 786, you would be waiting for the deviation to find bullish confirmations before getting a move back to the high of the range. Now, do you see how that lines up? That is something that, so that's why these are the key levels to look at to the downside. Not only is it the Fibonacci levels, but your POC and your value area low of that macro range are also down there. So it would be a perfect play. It would be a simple value area fake out that most people fall for, except for the people like us who look for those fake outs to get into the trades, right? People will be like, oh my God, we're losing support. This is critical support. We're going to zero. Nope. CandleMafia is looking at this as a simple deviation before a rip back up, just like we always look at on any volume profile. So that's what I'm looking at on Bitcoin, guys. I know that was a little bit long and drawn out, but I just kind of wanted to zoom out and check these prices because I see that there's a lot of bearishness out there. A lot of people are out there calling for much, much lower lows. And I do think that we could see more downside for Bitcoin. So I just wanted to cover those kind of apocalyptic levels. Now, I don't think we're going to get down here next week or in a month or whatever. Well, we don't know what's going to happen, right? But I'm not calling for these prices to happen today. But these are just some of the lower prices that I would be keeping an eye on. If we do wind up coming down to revisit close to these lows, right? Because when that happens, it's going to be a very dangerous time for a lot of people, because a lot of people are going to be at that point, especially when you're down here. A lot of people are going to be looking for those lower lows to come in and break that 15.5 level. And I just don't know if we're going to get that, right? We could. Again, I'm not going to sit up here and say you can't break those lows, but you could imagine like the stress that people would be feeling here and the confidence that they would feel that we're going to those lower lows. And I can only think of one thing for the market to do, and that is to absolutely destroy all those bears and rip it right back up. So those are the key levels we're looking at to the downside, guys. But again, being very cautious as we are still hanging out around this local value area low. And I think we all know, right, that this is typically where we look for those. Let me pull the actual range up. There we go, right? This is if we get the daily bull div, that 12-hour, 16-hour bull div down here below the range, that's where I think we could get local moves to the upside to come up, potentially make a lower high on this high here from about 28K, put in a lower high here before rolling back over, right? Do something like this. Or where we just come up, break those highs, come into our actual like saucy level to short, and then that's maybe where you get the dump. But guys, one thing I do want to point out here is, with everybody being so bearish, oh my God, Rectember is here. Oh my God, we're going lower. That does kind of make me think that we might just get a pump out of nowhere. But very, very, very tough price action to analyze here, guys. But this is how I'm looking at the market. These are the levels that I'm watching and kind of just how I think things are likely to play out. But there you go. When everybody calls up, it's going down. When everyone's calling lows, when everybody is calling low, it's surprising and going up. You never know, but this is how you make money. Absolutely. Shout out to Ellie or Eli. I don't know if that's Eli or Ellie, but shout out to you, bro. Yeah, absolutely. That's exactly what we're looking for, right? But let's see. Let's see. It all depends on the DXY. It's about to break to the upside. So with that being said, guys, those are my thoughts on Bitcoin. Yeah, if you guys want to, shout out to Sir Quest, I appreciate you. But if you guys want to go ahead and let me or have me take a look at your altcoins, go ahead and spam them in chat right now. We got Crypto Billy in the chat. What is going on, bro? Thank you for being here. Today's energy is brought to you by Azteki and Cactus Moss Water, which, guys, I know Azteki and Cactus Moss Water was invented by me. If you guys don't know, I invented Azteki and Cactus Moss Water. Not going to lie. I hired some new people for the flavor team, and this flavor ain't doing it. I'll tell you that. But yeah, let's go ahead. Go ahead and dump your altcoins in the chat, guys, if you want me to take a look. And then, in the meantime, I will take a look at Ethereum and the DXY as well. Now, as you guys know, when we look at the DXY here, this is my general sentiment on the DXY when looking at the weekly chart. It does appear that we are in a very similar situation to almost every other bull market we've had on crypto, right? And that really does come in on the weekly time frame when looking at money flow. Now, if you take a look here, I'm gonna mark out all these significant money flow crossovers into the red on the weekly time frame. Now, I'm not gonna go side by side with Bitcoin, or maybe I will. I will just do this because I think this is going to be helpful for people. So we got the DXY, and then we got Bitcoin on the other screen. I'm going to go on Heikinashi candles just so it's a little easier to see the trends. I'm going to go to the weekly on Bitcoin, and then I'll try to get it at somewhat of a significant... Okay, so let me zoom in a bit. Okay, so here we are. You guys can see my cursor on both assets here, right? And you can see here... where is that weekly money flow crossover? Okay, so let me zoom out a tiny bit more. So we, let's see, where did this money flow crossover even really do anything back here? Probably not. I guess it did. So here we are, right? Again, weekly time frame on DXY on the left, weekly time frame on Bitcoin on the right. And oh no, hold up. Shout out to no way. No way. Hold up. Hang on. Hold up. Wait, it doesn't even say he gifted. Shout out to Golden. Golden, you are an absolute savage, bro. Did he? No, wait, hang on. What is going on? Did he just gift another 50 memberships? No, wait. Shout out to Golden gifting another 50 Frankie Candles memberships. It didn't even pop up, but I see people getting gifts. What is going on? Shout out to Crypto Billy. You get one. You get one. Billy, I think you deserve one, bro. You got the blue name and the wrench, but I think it would look good in green. But, yeah, I don't know how this is happening. Yeah, 50 more. Okay, shout out to Golden. Dude, Golden, send me a Discord DM for the love of God. Please send me a Discord DM, bro. I need to talk to you. Absolute legend. Golden, I love you, bro. Why are you doing this, man? I appreciate you so much, but why? I thank you, bro. You're a true boss, dude. You are a true boss. Shout out to Golden, guys. Show Golden some love. Show Golden some love in the chat. Just giving away these memberships like he's straight up like he's Oprah. Oh, my God. You're running up a check. Let's go. Shout out to Golden. Bro, I need to talk to you. Absolute savage. Let's see. Okay, actually got a good question here, guys, before I cover the rest of this. Somebody says, I love how they will say they believe the low is in, but open to it dropping lower. And I love this message because he said why. And I'm here to answer the question, right? I don't know. I'm here to answer the question. And I like that he asked why, because he's seeing something happen, which I guess is people saying the low is in, but they're open to it going lower. But he's not just going, these guys are scammers. He's asking why, assuming that he might not know something. So I love that. Shout out to whoever asked that question. I appreciate the fact that you asked why, because there's a reason. It's not that these people just come up here and say, it could go up, it could go down, because I think people think they do that to like cover their back end so like they can always be right. Obviously, we're not about always being right on this channel. I don't care if we're wrong. We're going to be wrong. If there's anyone out there telling you that they know exactly where Bitcoin's going to go, telling you it's definitely going up or it's definitely going down, avoid these people. These people do not know how the market moves, right? And the reason that we are in the camp that the bottom is in, but open to lower lows, I wish I saw the name that asked this question because I would like to address you because he asked the question, right? And the answer to that question is because it simply can go lower. Have you ever seen Wolf of Wall Street, where Matthew McConaughey, I think, said it? He's like, that no one knows if the stock is going up or down or left or right or wazi or woozy. It's fake. It's fugazi. It doesn't exist. It's fairy dust. Nobody knows for sure if the bottom is in. And when you're new to crypto, it's pretty easy to come in here and see somebody on a chart doing things that you don't understand, and you think they know something that other people don't know. And sure, they might have knowledge that you don't know, but no one knows exactly where things are going to go. So me saying that the bottom is in is based off of technical factors as well as a cyclical estimation of how the market has played out in the past. But like anything in trading, or especially technical analysis, nothing is 100%. It's all based off of probability. History doesn't always repeat itself, but it oftentimes rhymes. So you have to you have to make assumptions or have if this then that statements if it goes lower. Like, because here's the thing, right? In simple terms, if you're just saying the bottom's in 100% and I'm not open to assuming that it could go lower, there's nothing that will ever say that the bottom is guaranteed in, ever, no matter what, right? But by locking in and just being like, we're not going lower, I'm 100% sticking by this, I'm not open to lower lows, it's definitely not happening. What happens is people get wrecked, right? And this is why a lot of new people to the market, and I use the term newbies as a not a bad term. Like, I'm just saying people new to crypto. A lot of people who ask, or a lot of people who will throw hate saying that, like, oh, he's saying it could go up or could go down, screw this guy. Those people don't know what's going on. These people are like, got into crypto last week. But if you're sitting here saying the bottom's in, there's no chance we can go lower, and something happens, right? Maybe some crazy news comes out that you can't predict, right? And it gets a big dump. And now we're sitting here. And then you get some more news. Like, if things are looking really bearish at the point when you're at these lows, then you have to be open to these lows breaking and coming lower. Number one, because you don't know, there's no way to guarantee if the low is in. And number two, if you get down here and it looks like it's going down, you can make money on that move down. Or at least we can. The CandleMafia can, right? Make money, or anyone trading or knows how to short can make that money on the way down, right? So why would you not want to, I know how to read the charts. It's simply just a skill. So if I'm sitting here, right, I know that no one knows, like, even if the most popular guy on YouTube, right, like the best technical trader ever said the bottom is in, and we start getting down here and we're getting bearish signals and it looks like we're breaking lower, I don't care what that guy says, because I know how to read the charts and I know when it's going to go down. I know it's not 100% it will go down, but if it looks like it's going to go down, I don't care what anyone else says. And I'm going to try to profit off that move, right? So it's just a game of probabilities, and that's why people will say the bottom's in, but you have to be open for lower lows too, right? Because anything can happen, and as a trader, you can make money whether the price is going up or down. So thank you for asking that question, because people ask it all the time. Usually people are a little bit more hatey than that, but you asked why. Thank God. At least you had the wherewithal to understand that maybe there's something you don't get, and I just explained it to you, right? So there you go. Thank you for not just being a senseless hater and actually trying to figure out why people say it could go up or down. I actually recommend, if you hear people on YouTube saying it could go up or it could go down, those are the people you should follow. These are the people who are not going to lead a bunch of their followers to slaughter. These people are going to make sure that their followers are protected and not just tell them that it's going up, the bottom's in, because that's what gets views. So when you see someone calling for the bottom being in 100%, typically it's because views are hurting in a bear market, and they just want people to think it's going up, so they keep watching the videos. But I don't do that here. I teach you how to actually make money trading. And if we get down there and it looks bearish, chances are, if you're going to go lower, we're going to profit off of it. And I want you to profit too. So shout out to you, whoever asked that question. I appreciate you. But anyway, guys, let's continue on here. Take a look at the DXY. Shout out to Creighton C. Says, don't worry, Frankie. Goldman Sachs said they didn't think there will be a recession, so everything's fine, right? Shout out to Creighton C, bro. Shout out to you, man. Let's see. I appreciate you, Creighton. Creighton's been here for a long. Creighton, what was your first live stream? How long have you been here with us for? Let me know. Because you've been here for a long time, but I don't know exactly when. Shout out to Creighton. I appreciate you so much. Thank you for the super chat, bro. Let's see. Okay, shout out to Crypto Billy. Thank you for the super chat, bro. Said Frankie special alt request GFAL. GFAL. Billy request. Well, Billy, dude, I owe you way more than one altcoin request, so we're going to have to take a look at that. Shout out to you. Shout out to Crypto Billy. I love you, bro. My first live stream was day one. Shout out to everybody. Smile. Since the big dump. Shout out to Creighton C. Just in time, Creighton. Just in time. But guys, let's continue on here. Taking a look at the DXY. And I want to go ahead and mark out. Let me collapse this real quick. And let's see here, right? So money flow crossover right here, right? You can see, I'll put a vertical line. Boom, right? And I'm not going to cover this too long because we've covered this before. So money flow crosses over into the red here. This was in 2016. Let me scroll back on Bitcoin. Yeah, so this was in 2016. Money flow crosses over into the red on the DXY weekly chart, and it wound up getting a pretty big move down, right? And obviously, we got another push up into the green before we got put in another higher high before absolutely rejecting. But what was Bitcoin doing at this time, guys? As the money flow crossed over into the red, we very, very shortly after the money flow crossed over into the red on the Dixie, We wound up getting a money flow crossover into the green on the weekly for Bitcoin, which was essentially the start of the bull market of 2016, 2017, right? So this was a weekly money flow crossover into the red on the DXY. What happened after that? It wasn't all up and to the right, but, there were zigzags, right? We came up, we came down, but we were essentially just in a massive parabolic bull run. If you move to the next, and then obviously this wound up crossing back over into the red, and then once the money flow crossed over into the green on the DXY right here, you can see my cursor on Bitcoin. That was right about here, right before our 50% capitulation to the bottom of that bear market. And so on and so forth, guys. If we go back to the next money flow crossover into the red on the weekly, you can see right here, the DXY crossed into the red. And then what happened here? The same thing as 2016, 2017. We kind of bing-banged around a little bit and then went off into the parabolic bull run. So could we expect something similar to happen here? This is kind of bringing back the case of history doesn't always repeat itself, but it oftentimes rhymes, right? If it repeated itself, you would know exactly when the bottoms were coming in based off of the date, and you would just wait and buy at the bottom and then just ride it off into the sunset. But that's not the case, right? So I don't know why does that say 4-hour red dot printing? But we could be seeing something very similar here, because not only are we getting money flow, we did cross into the green on the weekly for Bitcoin. Our Higanashi candles is crossing back over into the red, but generally, this could be a fake out into the red potentially. But what do we have here, right? Money flow is starting to cross over into the green on Bitcoin. And what is happening on the DXY? I'll just come on over to the full screen. What is going on the weekly? Well, our money flow is now crossing over into the red on the weekly for the DXY. And if this is going to rhyme at all with what was going on in the previous cases that we just looked at, this is likely going to be kind of the tail end of the bear market, right? Or at least that's what it's been in the past. Doesn't mean it's going to repeat itself. But again, it oftentimes rhymes. So money flow coming out on the weekly on the Dixie, right? And then your VWAP also rolling back over, looking for a red dot. Even if we do continue to push up here, once that VWAP comes down, if money flow is still coming out, we could see a bigger rejection, and we might just see Bitcoin do exactly what we saw last time, where it's kind of like just kind of wiggles sideways for a little bit until the halving, and then you get off into the bull run. So there you go. But that's kind of my analysis on the Dixie so far. Just again, like I don't really care about the noise that happens in here, at least as of right now. Just really looking in terms of the cycle and where Bitcoin's going in the long term. The weekly's kind of what I would be looking at. Now, locally, come up to the daily. Green dot confirmed. Money flow actually crossed over into the green not too long ago here. This money flow looks healthy on the daily. So we could come up more, right? We could get some noise on the lower time frames. And when you're looking at the weekly as your directional bias, the daily is somewhat of a low time frame, right, compared to the weekly. So, I mean, we could also put in a bear div here potentially with a higher highs on our candles, with our lower highs on our momentum waves, the opposite of what's going on Bitcoin right now, which would make sense. If we dump from here, Bitcoin will likely get a shot to the upside. But again, locally, money flow looks pretty good on the daily, coming up to the 4-hour. Money flow just freshly crossed over into the green. So low time frames could look like the DXY may have a little bit more upside. But again, taking a look at that weekly, like this does not look very good for the Dixie, in my opinion. And you also did just have like multiple drives of bullish divergence here into your golden pocket. So not really, that much of a shock to get a bounce here on the DXY, to be completely frank. Get it? But anyway, that's what we're looking at on the DXY, guys. Let's go ahead. Shout out to Rob. Thank you for being here, bro. Have a good day at work tomorrow. I love you, bro. Thank you for everything you do. And we will see you tomorrow. Let's see. But yeah, that's what I would be looking for. Now listen, if we start getting a big move up on the DXY, this is why you have to have if this then that statements, right? Because you can't predict the future. Now, this does not mean that this is like a big common mistake that a lot of people have when they get into trading, or just technical analysis in general. Just because the money flow is, we could easily see here, anything can happen. That's what a lot of people need to realize. We could come into the red for 2 seconds here and then come back into the biggest green wave we've ever had on the DXY if it is backed up by external factors, right? But if we don't see anything too crazy happen that hasn't happened in the past, these past back tests that we just made, like if nothing too crazy has happened that was different than back then, you could expect something similar to play out. But obviously, if we wind up breaking some of these, much higher levels, we start getting above 108. I mean, what is this high here? yeah, like 107, 108, like you start getting above there, then like maybe you start to worry a little bit. But, at that point, you would start seeing a lot of these higher time frames turning around looking bullish. Like if the DXY is going to blast off, like even this high, what's this high here? 105, 106. What is this? 106.8. I mean, I'll be honest. I just don't. I mean, yeah, if you're looking at fib levels, big dump, right? From up here, right? Come up and test that golden pocket at like 108, 109. Potentially get a rejection there. So short term, like we could definitely come up, right? Like I said, that daily money flow doesn't look too bad. But again, like until this weekly starts turning around and looking bullish, this looks pretty bad. Like this weekly on the DXY does not look good in my opinion. But it doesn't mean it can't flip around. It's as of right now. So there you guys go. Let's see. Let's see. Everybody Smile says, CryptoFace says Santa is delivering big fat BTC in everybody's stockings this Christmas. Yeah, I hope so. Yeah, that's the thing too. Is shout out to TRD Farmer, said we need a bing bong for the kids. Bing bong. Shout out to TRD Farmer's kids. What's going on, guys? Shout out to your dad, the TRD Farmer. Yeah, I don't even know if that was like in context of what he was talking about, but shout out to TRD Farmer. Let's see. Hulk smash the likes for Frankie. Shout out to Elliot Locke. I appreciate you guys. Don't forget to smash that like button. Every 100 likes we get, you guys get a spin on the wheel of pain and pleasure. More spins, more free stuff you guys will get on Friday. All right, let's go ahead and continue on. Let's see. Okay, let's continue on here. Do we have the altcoin votes in and being counted? Are they already selected? They're already pinned. Shout out to Tony D and Rob the Crypto Snob and all of our mods. I appreciate you guys. But let's go ahead and start taking a look at the altcoins. All right, let's take a look at AVAX. Actually, let's start off on ETH here. We're probably running a little over time here. That's okay. Let's pull up Ethereum real quick. Ethereum looking very similar to Bitcoin, guys. I guess we cleared all our ETH TA here. Great. But we'll just redraw our ranges. Obviously, we are looking at this range all the way down here. This kind of macro range, and then we also have this local range that we've been finding some levels within. This is basically the value area that we're respecting, so I'm going to highlight this in white. Do a little bing, a little bong. I'm not going to label the levels, but your value area high is up here. POC is where we're hanging out right now. And then your value area low is coming down here at about 1550. Levels remain exactly the same, guys. Nothing, literally, almost nothing has happened to ETH since the last time we looked at it. It's like if you want to see the ETH TA, guys, go check out last week's live stream. But no, for real, you are starting to put in a 12-hour bull div here with your lower lows on your price action and your higher lows on your momentum waves. Bada boom, green dot printing could give us a little bounce to the upside. So again, like low, shorter term here, guys. Let's see. This is what the 4-hour looking like. Money flow on the 4-hour generally trending to the upside. VWAP coming down. I mean, things look like they're going to be choppy, confusing, and to be 100% frank with you guys, things don't look that fun. Things are very unpredictable, very choppy, very gross trading unless you're scalping the ranges. It's just really garbage price action lately. And, I would look short term, look for some continued consolidation to come in here. But money flow generally coming up on the 4-hour. Your 6-hour money flow is generally coming up as well. And then your 10-hour, it's still generally coming up. 12 and 16-hour bull divs are printing. So, yeah, I would look for, obviously lower time frame noises to be expected. But if these 12 and 16-hour bull divs confirm, even that daily bull div is looking to potentially confirm as well. If we confirm these signals, that is where I would be looking for a pump to the upside. Now, obviously, your first major level that you're going to have to get above if you do get a move up here is going to be this white line right here at about 1660. I'm going to label this previous value area high because if we get a move up here, guys, that is kind of our first major level we got to get above, right? Because if you can't get above this, we're looking to come back. I mean, we're already at the POC, which I should mark out at this point. Anyway, let me go ahead and mark this previous POC. And then your previous value area low is coming in right here. So, where is it? Previous value area low. Boom, right? So, if we get up to this level and we can't get back above it, you're expecting to potentially get accepted or continually get accepted into the range, come back down towards that value area low. However, If you get above that value area high and you start sticking support, I would look for a potential move back up to test the $1,730 value area low that we were trading in from back up here. And if we pull our local fib here on the, let me turn on our regular candles. Oh, come on. Move this over. Boom. Pull our fib from the high all the way to this low here. You can see not only is your value area high here, but you also have your golden pocket 786 Fibonacci retracement level sitting right at your value area low. So this would be an area to look for a rejection, right? So if you get that 16, 12-hour, maybe daily bull div to come in, I would look for a bounce into this value area high. If you can get above that, hold it as support. I'd look to push up into this purple box, potentially targeting that value area low at 1730 before potentially rolling back over. Now, again, once you get to that level, if you are not getting rejections here and we can get above that level and flip it to support, that's where you're looking, pretty high up at about 1850. I don't know if we see that happening, but just based off the laws of the volume profile, that's kind of how I would be dealing with that situation. So wouldn't really be expecting anything crazy until we get above this value area high. And then, again, come bearishly test this value area low. This whole purple box would be a pretty big level to look at. And if you get above that level, looking up towards that POC. And that potentially, obviously, due to the volume profiles, you're eventually looking to get up to the value area high at 1927. I don't know if you're going to get all the way back up there, though. But that's what I'd be looking at on Ethereum, guys. Looking very similar to Bitcoin. Really watching those 12, 16-hour bull divs as well as the daily to see if that gives us somewhat of a significant move up. All right, let's go ahead and pull up AVAX, our first altcoin. See here. Bada boom, bada bing. AVAX Binance US dollar. Here we go. Let me pull chat up to current. Let's see. Scoop up ETH below 1,000. You betcha. Shout out to everybody's smile. If ETH goes back below $1,000, I will indeed be smiling. All right, let's see. Taking a look at AVAX here. I'm going to come up to the weekly time frame. Okay. Taking a look at the weekly. Yeah. Okay. So here's the thing. Let me pull the volume profile. Yeah. No bull div here on the weekly, at least locally. Coming down to your 5-day, no bull div. Green dot printing on your 4-day. 3-day green dot confirmed, but the VWAPs are looking to roll right back over on you. Oh, interesting. Yeah, this is reminding me back to Bitcoin, right? Looking for those bull divs on the daily, right? That last little push down, put that bull div on the daily. Looks very similar. But, 2-day here. Actually, let's go down to the daily. Yeah, so your daily bull div's looking to print here. Take a look at AVAX on the daily. Lower lows on your price action. Bada boom. Higher lows on your momentum waves. Bada boom. This is somewhat of a bullish signal, right? Money flow is pretty thick in the red here, so I would be careful. 16-hour bull div also printing. This would be somewhat indicative of a move up. Take a look at the 10-hour. Money flow pretty smoothly curving to the upside, or pretty smoothly trending to the upside. Especially with that daily bull div looking to print. Let's see. 8-hour green dot confirmed. Money flow coming up. The money flow in a lot of these lower time frames, you're bing-bonging on the 4-hour, but generally trending up. Could get a move up here locally, especially if that daily bull div prints and that 16-hour bull div confirms. Again, basically the same thing on Ethereum, right? If we get this to print and confirm, that's where I would look for the move to the upside. If you get that move up, I would simply... let me pull some local levels here and see if I can... Whoops. Let me get some of these local levels for you. Yeah, you're currently, where's that? 10-hour. Yeah, 12-hour. Yeah, I don't know. 12-hour bull div deviating below the value area low. No 4-hour bull div confirmed. If this was a 4-hour bull div, I'd look to fill that whole range, to be honest with you. Let's see. Money flow coming up. VWAP coming down. Yeah, things are gross right now, guys. I'll be 100% honest with you. Listen, you have the 16-hour bull div. I would really like to see some more local bull divs. But if this 12-hour and 16-hour bull div are going to give you a move back to the upside, I would look, right, if you're going to get a move up here, the area I would be looking for resistance at would really be, let's pull our fib from the high to the low. So, I mean, if you could somehow get, what the heck is going on here? Okay, I can't pull this fib. Okay, there we go. So, if you wind up, is this a joke? What? Okay. All right, guys, they won't let me drop this fib. Why is this happening to me? Click. Yeah, I don't know what's going on here, guys. It does not want me to pull the fib here. What's going on? Somebody fix my fib. What is going on? I can't get rid of the fib. Okay, there we go. What is the deal with that? Okay, all right. Well, I don't know how to get this off now. Get off me! Get it! I feel like I have something stuck to my hand. Get it! Get it off me! Okay. I can't. There we go. Okay. I don't know why that just happened, guys. Unbelievable. Pull your fib, guys. I couldn't stop pulling the fib. Yo, Frankie's got whiskey. Shout out to Crespo Crypto. That Frankie's got whiskey fib. Yo, you just made me die, bro. Oh, God. Yo, shout out to LL Radio Control. Said, coming in late. Amazing how Golden is gifting all these memberships. Literally, he just popped in chat, and he's like, what is going on? Golden just out here with the memberships. Shout out to Golden. Absolute legend. Let's see. Shout out to Crypto Pricey. Said, happy birthday, Rob. Can you do Loop Ring LRC? Does anyone like that project? ETH Layer 2, ZK Rollup, 97% vested market cap, around 250 million. Nobody is talking about it. Yeah, shout out to Crypto Pricey. I could try to take a look at Loop Ring today. If not, I'm just going to write it down here on a Benji. If I do not get to it today, I will go ahead and put it at the top of the list tomorrow. Thank you for wishing Rob, our wonderful mod, a happy birthday. I know he appreciates it. Shout out to Crypto Pricey. Golden gifting another 20 memberships. I am losing my mind. Golden, please message me on Discord if you haven't already. If not, I'm going to spend the rest of my life savings that isn't in crypto to go on a search for you, because I need to talk to you, my friend. Shout out to Golden. I appreciate you so much. I need to know why this is happening. Shout out to Golden. I appreciate you, bro. Out here being an absolute menace with the gifting. Unbelievable. All right, let's continue on. Okay, so, all right, let me pull it, guys. Let me pull it finally. So, if you look here, you have your Golden Pocket POC 786 retracement coming in right here at the high of the range. So, if you get that 12 and 16 hour bullish divergence to confirm, this would be what I'd look for. Obviously, you're probably going to find some significant resistance at $10.03, but your goal here would be for that div to get you above this value area low and then a push up into this purple box where I would probably be looking to take some profits or looking for a potential short position because that's your local golden pocket retracement as well as your value area high. And again, when you get those deviations below the range with your bullish or your higher lows on your momentum waves, right? That is where you get your bounces at. So that's what I would look at on AVAX. Looking, again, 16 and 12-hour bull divs. If these don't give you a move up, it would be somewhat alarming. I would be pretty concerned. But, yeah, money flow also not looking horrible on the medium time frame. So I would look for a potential move up. If you do get it, I'd be very cautious around this purple box between about $10.90 and $10.63. But there you go. Yo, shout out to Johnny Jackhammer. Yo, what is going on? Champagne Showers. Shout out to B-Rad Crypto. What song is that? That's a Lil Wayne song. 24-hour champagne shower. I don't know. Anyway, shout out to Lil Wayne. So great to see. Yeah, shout out to Crypto. Golden. Hang on a second. Guys. You don't think Golden could be an alt account of Crypto Billy, do you? Because I know Crypto Billy. Shout out to Golden, $600. You are a menace, bro. I know Crypto Billy loves to give back to this channel, and I love Crypto Billy for that. But I always tell him, dude, please don't give me your money. You helped me out enough. Maybe. Nope. He said nope. It's like, nah, they both said nope. He would have to have 2 different devices. Shout out to Golden. Yeah. No. Crypto 101 said no, it's my alt account. Oh, God. Yes, it's Future Song. You're right. But yeah, shout out to Crypto Billy. Just a random thesis there. I don't know. I don't know. Shout out to Crypto Billy. Shout out to Golden. Golden, I will be in touch with you hopefully soon. If you can't get in touch with me, hit up Tony D. I need to talk to you. I love you, bro. Thank you so much. And shout out to Crypto Billy, too. But let's go ahead. Oh, yeah, guys. Who made the hand emoji? Who made the Mrs. Candle's hand emoji? Who was it? Who did it? Shout out to Dave Digital. Hang on. I think Mrs. Candles might be in the closet. Hang on. Come on. Just don't show your face. You'll be fine. Okay. Sorry, guys. She literally hides in the studio closet and watches me through the crack in the door. I don't know why. It's like, I know she's there. I don't know why she hides it. But, guys, dead on. Absolutely dead on with that hand. It looks just like Mrs. Candle's hand. Literally identical. Unbelievable. Let's go. Shout out to Mrs. Candles. Mrs. Candles, are you she doesn't have her phone. She watches live. I thought she might be in chat. All right, go in chat and say what's up to the people and use your dang emoji. You have your own emoji, Mrs. Candles. Unbelievable. Shout out to Mrs. Candle's hand. Not Deezy's hand. Mrs. Candle's hand. Hang on. Yeah, no. It's definitely her hand. I know the difference between how Deezy's hand smells and Mrs. Candle's hand smells. This is Mrs. Candle's hand. Shout out to you guys. Wait, who made it, though? I did it. She sent me a few samples, and we honed in on the perfect emoji. Wait, no way. That's not an actual picture. I'm sorry, Mrs. Candles. I did not mean to throw you across the room. No, that's an actual picture of Mrs. Candle's hand. No way. Guys, that's the last video. This is the last live stream I'll ever be doing. There is no Tony D, if that's an actual picture of her hand. Yo, Crypto Anon said LMAO. He smelled it. Dude, that is her hand. Okay, guys, that's all the time I got. This is the last live stream I'm ever going to do. I don't think the channel is ever going to get that better than this. Mrs. Candle's actual hand is an emoji. It's low-key comforting. I'm not going to lie. I feel like Mrs. Candles is just right here, and I could just sniff her hand anytime I want. But, guys, let's go ahead. Shout out to you guys. Creighton C says, wait, what are you smelling, Deezy's hands? Why are you smelling Deezy's hands? No, Mrs. Candle's hands. No, just sometimes I just know what Deezy's hands smell like because sometimes he walks by me and or he'll be like, hey, what's up, bro? And he'll dap me up and, I'll just get a waft. But anyway, guys, back to the charts. Shout out to Mrs. Candle's hand. Oh, God. Too much. He goes, hand sniffer, B-Rad Crypto. Shout out to you. But, guys, that's what I'd be looking at on AVAX. Did it just get a significant little pop? Not really. But there you go. 12 and 16-hour bull dips is kind of what I would look for that move up. And then, looking at that local range, I mean, if we get that move up to really give you a somewhat of a significant push to the upside, you could potentially have your eyes set at $12.54 where you have your more macro, not full macro, but, more, longer term value area low, which is not really in confluence with your golden pocket retracement. However, yeah, could potentially look up towards your... Oh, my God, guys, the fibs are broken. Guys, we can't pull fibs anymore. Trading views. Oh, no, trading views like this guy pulls way too many fibs. Somebody get him under control. And now it's just stuck to my hand. Get off me. Anyway, so, yeah, you could potentially push up to your value area low at $12.54. However, I don't know if you're going to be able to get that move up. But, yeah, that's what I'd be looking at on AVAX. All right, let's go ahead and move on. Joe Rod said it's your mouse. Maybe. I mean, it doesn't work. It doesn't happen with anything else, though. That's the weird thing, right? If I pull a range, pull it from here to there, it works every time. I don't know. Very strange. Somebody's trying to put the brakes on my fib. Anyway, moving on, guys. Let's take a look at Solana. Here we are. Taking a look at the 2-day. Now, this was not one of the... hang on. Bear with me here. I'm just going to get rid of these internal or these local levels. Boom, boom, boom. I'll just get rid of everything. Screw it. All right, so let's see here. Let's take a look at the daily. we've kind of been looking at, more of the macro range here. Obviously, this is kind of the major range we've been looking at as we lived below this. Didn't put in the daily bull div. Technically, it's kind of an exaggerated bull div here, but you do have the green dot confirmed. Nice little pop up here for Solana based off of that Visa news, as you guys know. But nice little pop to the upside here. No daily bull div. Again, green dot confirmed. Money flow crossed over into the red, however, would be a little bit more of a bearish sign. But again, the higher time frames, the money flow on the high time frames, like the 3, 4, 5 day, 6 day, on the altcoins doesn't look as bad as it does on Bitcoin. Bitcoin's money flow looks much worse on the higher time frames. I don't know if that's going to wind up doing anything for us, but it's just a fact of the matter. But 3 day looking for the green dot, 2 day printing your green dot as we get a little pop up here. And moving on here, 10-hour green dot confirmed. Let's take a look at the 4-hour. Money flow just crossed over into the green on the 4-hour. So, you kind of are at a decision point here. Not really a decision point, but you are kind of at a very, very important key level. If I can just, dude, what is going on right now? Guys, TradingView is, no, it's happening with this now. No way is this. Okay, I'm just going to do it the old school way. We're going to, oh my God. Okay, there we go. Guys, TradingView's broken. TradingView is just broken. I don't know. I can't move the chart. What is going on here? This is a nightmare. All right. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and pull this range all the way to our current price action. And you can see here that we are starting to play with some very interesting levels. Are you seeing what I'm seeing? Here we are. 4-hour money flow crossover into the green. Now, I do think you could continue to consolidate or maybe even correct just a little bit here. However, we could be flipping our value area low to support. And if we are able to get above this level, flip it to support, that's where we could start looking up to some higher prices. This is going to be your key level, about $20. And we talked about this in the past, right? You had your bull divs on the 4-hour right here. Lower lows on your price, kind of hard to draw. Lower lows on your price, higher lows on your momentum waves. Got your 4-hour bull div, money flow coming up. You got that shot into your value area low. If you flip this to support, that's where we're looking up towards that POC, which we almost already hit at about $20.69. If we get above that, I would look to start targeting some of these higher highs up here, right? Some of these other highs could have a significant amount of liquidity sitting right above these highs. Now, if we pull our local range, you can see here, right? I'm gonna hide the big range, right? We know this is our macro value area low. We'll just go, I'm gonna call it previous value area low so we know the difference. We're gonna hide that value area and take a look at this local value area. Now, really here, you put that 4-hour bull div into your value area low. If we continue up here, I would really look to target this value area high coming in at 21.36. Now, if you could get up here, may deviate a little bit. This would be a decent spot to be looking for a short if we could deviate above that local value area and take out these highs from all the way up here. To be honest, that's kind of what I'd be looking at, right? Like you're up against this previous value area low. If you stick this as support, even if you break it a little bit, like as long as you continue your uptrend, I would look for a continued move up here. Fresh money flow crossover into the green on the 4-hour. If you're able to maintain support on this value area low, I would essentially be looking for a potential move up to your value area high here. Obviously, you got to get past your POC, but this value area high would be a significant target for me if I were looking to long this, just because it's a value area high, right? And then I would reassess the situation once we got up there, because again, there's like really nothing screaming that like we're about to yeet to massively higher prices. That's why I would be careful at this value area high, because again, nothing's really saying to me here that this thing is about to make new yearly highs, right? But it is saying that we could wind up getting some more local upside to potentially put in a lower high and continue the move down. And if we pull our fib here from the high to the low, yeah, you can see you do have a decent bit of confluence here on your Fibonacci levels at that value area high. So that's kind of what I would look for here, guys, on Solana. right? Hold this value area low. I'd look for a yeet up into this purple box, which again is just simply the value area high where we'd be looking for shorts. And this could be a significant place to potentially put in a lower high and then maybe break these lows and come lower. And then if we get above this value area high, obviously if we hold above this level decisively, that's where you can look for a move up into your previous value area, which I would argue was right about here, right? So if you get that move to the upside, change this to white, right? If you get that move, you flip this level to support, you may be able to attack this value area, right? And then start the whole process all over again with the volume profile. So there you go. That's what I'm looking for on Solana. Shout out to Solana's nice little pump. Frankie Candles. Yeah, shout out to Crypto Billy. Said Frankie having hand issues. Shout out to Crypto Billy. Let's go. All right, let's see. $16 Sol, potentially. Yeah, probably the value area low of this little range right down here, if I had to make a random guess. I will make a case for your $16 Sol. Who said that? Who said it? Shout out to Joe Rod. I'm making a case for your $1,600 or your $16 Sol right here. Value area low of this previous area of consolidation. I'm just kidding. Not really. I mean, it is. But, yeah, I do think maybe you could continue this up. But, yeah, I don't want to beat a dead horse here. That's what I'm looking at on Solana, guys. Let's see. Shout out to King T. Said we need a DZ emoji. But let's go ahead and take a look at XRP. And then we got the Crypto Billy special. I'm curious to check that one out. Okay. So let's take a look at XR Pizzle. Where is it at? XROP, XRP. There it is. Let's see. XRP. We want the Bitstamp chart. This is the one that we usually look at. Okay, maybe it's not. Is this it? Oh, yeah, I guess this is it. Okay. All right, taking a look at the daily. At the daily, guys, have we seen something? Oh, my God. Yeah, this is brutal, guys. This is brutal. We looked at XRP. Last week. Just simply like the bias here or the sentiment here on XRP is until we break this value area high or we break this value area low, I am simply not expecting anything other than a bore fest out of this thing, right? It's like essentially doing exactly what I want it to do, and I don't say that because I'm excited that it's doing what I said it was. I was like praying it wouldn't do what I said, and it unfortunately is. Just looking to simply respect this range, guys. There's really nothing here. And there was something that we were looking at. I believe this. Oh, yeah. Okay, we are actually getting it. Okay. Scratch that, guys. Super exciting analysis on XRP. I'm just kidding. But you can see here, last week we were looking for that bull div to print on the daily time frame, right? And then we had these two levels of support, which were a value area high POC of a local range down here, as well as the value area low golden pocket retracement level of a little local range right down here. And we put that daily bull div in, right? Like, honestly, a pretty clean bullish divergence on the daily. Lower lows on your price action into a significant level of support, which was your value area high from back here, with your higher lows, obviously, on your momentum waves right here, and your money flow trying to scoot back up at your VWAP rolling, flopping back over here. Yeah, you got the bull div here. It really didn't give us much of a move. Taking a look at the 4-hour here, though. Oh, baby, look at that trigger wave. Nice little anchor. Okay, so might be able to continue up here based off of that daily bull div confirmed. Money flow generally coming up on the 4-hour. Over time, it is coming up, but locally, it's kind of wonked out. But you do have this nice little anchor wave or nice big anchor wave, and then you have this nice tiny little trigger wave. What happens when you pull that trigger? Bang, you come to the upside. Now, I'm not just calling for a massive move up for XRP, but this trigger wave does look pretty nice. I do like to see this kind of happen on bullish divergences. It does make it a bit more reliable of a signal, but you are starting to get a little green candle here. So this trigger wave paired with the daily bull div put in at a significant level of support may be able to give us another move up. But again, guys, brings us right back to the last thing I was talking about, and that is, if we can't get above this, am I going to dare try to move this volume profile? Is it going to screw me over again? Of course it is. Come on. Come on. Just give me my tool back. Oh, my God. Yeah, this is definitely glitched out. I don't know why this is happening. Change to a dot. Come on. Nope. Okay. Well, I'll have to get rid of this, and then I'll just undo it. And then, okay. So, I, again, like, wouldn't really be expecting too much out of this. until we break that value area high or this value area low. Other than that, I would look to respect this range. Let me redraw that. Respect this range, right? So other than that, I would look for a potential short-term move to the upside, but you got to get above that 54-cent level but if you want more upside for XRP. Other than that, money flow generally coming up on a lot of these time frames. 10-hour green dot is also printing. Might see some more upside. But again, POC coming in at 52 cents. Value area high coming in at 54.5 cents. Until we break these levels, I'm falling asleep on XRP. But you did get those signals at the support level here for a bounce. So could potentially get that move up. But again, might just get yeeted back down by that value area high. All right, let's see. Let's see. Okay. Next altcoin is going to be GFAL. Games for a living. What is this? Interesting. Take a look at the MEXC chart, I guess. Shout out to MEXC. Let's see here. All right, so games for a living. Oh, this sounds familiar. But I'm just going to do the TA here. We're just going to pretend we don't know anything about this, which I generally don't. It does sound familiar, though. I feel like someone was just talking about this to me. But let's go ahead and pull our range here. And you do have a pretty clean range, right? You got your deviation, flip to support, back to the high, back to the POC, back to the high, back to the low, back to the high, back to the low, back to the POC, back to the low, back to the high. Are we going back to the low? Let's do some analysis. Okay, so again, take a look at the daily. VWAP is curving down. Now, this money flow crossover looks strong. This money flow crossover looks really strong. Pretty thick in the green, shooting straight up. That is somewhat of a good sign. VWAP rolling back over to the downside. So you may see, I wouldn't be surprised if you start respecting this range, but I wouldn't be expecting a massive dump, right? This money flow crossover on the daily would indicate the trend is likely to continue in the medium term to the upside, right? So take a look at the 2-day. VWAP kind of rolling over there. Money flow kind of flat. 3-day VWAP rolling over. Let's take a look at the 12 and 16 hour. Same thing. VWAP's rolling over. Money flow looks good, though. Money flow looks pretty good for more upside, if I'm being honest. But it does look like you may want to cool off here. VWAP's coming down. Money flow coming up, right? So that would indicate chop or noise in the market, but trend will likely continue. Now, coming to the 5-hour here. Some exaggerated bearish divergences. Like almost invalidated. But you do have equal highs here on your momentum waves with higher highs on your price action. Could indicate a correction to the downside. But again, based off money flow, wouldn't necessarily expect it to be a dump to zero, but more of a retracement before continuing up. Take a look at the 4-hour. You do generally. Yeah, I mean, this is like basically an exaggerated yeah. Oh, my God. I can't move anything now. Guys, this is brutal. There we go. So you do kind of have an exaggerated bear div here as well. Yeah, it's like, I mean, it's definitely a lower high. Definitely a lower high. But, again, exaggerated, right? And like, money flow's generally coming out here. Kind of coming up locally. Let's take a look at the 2-hour. Do you have any more? Yeah, I would really like to see these divergences be much stronger. They're all like exaggerated, which could be either a signal that's not as strong as a typical divergence or simply just a false signal. Like even the 3-hour, like nothing. I guess you have a little bit more of a tangible bearish divergence here on the 3-hour with your lower low on your price, on your lower high on your momentum wave with your higher highs on your price. At your value area low could, again, be a little bit of a correction incoming. Also, money flow generally trending down here on the 3-hour. One thing I will say, though, is it's not the clearest signal. This isn't like, oh, my God, this thing pumped a bunch, and it looks like it's going to come down. Get ready for your shorts. The signals are technically here, at least on the 3-hour. With the money flow coming out, bearish divergences printing or confirmed here on the 3-hour. However, it's not the strongest, right? I would really like to see like these. I would like to see momentum coming out much more, or even like some local bearish divergences, right? Like we don't have a local bear div here. I would like to see a local bear div there for a little bit of confluence. But if you do continue down here, I'm not going to move the value area to current price because I'm going to get stuck on the thing and it's not going to work. So if we do continue coming down, you will be looking at this level here at 0.01774 for some support. If you get stuck below this, I would look for a bigger move down, potentially bringing you to the POC. I wouldn't necessarily be looking for a move all the way back down to the value area low at this point just because of money flow on the higher time frames being pretty fresh money flow crossovers into the green. So I would be careful of that. If you are looking for a short here, in my opinion, you probably missed the signal. And if you get in anyway, I would be looking to treat it as a scalp trade, not a big, long swing trade. So there you go. Let's see. So, yeah, I mean, yeah, it's kind of hard to say here. I would like to see, I would like to see the bear div, not only here, but, also this higher high. I would really like to see that you had a bear div locally as well, showing you that, momentum is, consistently coming out and creating bear divs. That would make it a stronger signal to come down to the POC. So, for me, I wouldn't be taking this trade. But if you are in a short or what have you, I wouldn't be looking for this to bring you much lower than the POC, at least as of right now. Money flow can roll back over. Let me see where your fib is. Now, you do have a lot of weird, scammy wicks on this, but let's pull it to the high here. You do have some kind of confluence at your POC for some support. Change that to blue. So, yeah, if you do come down, I would look for some support within this first blue box between about 0.015284 cents and 0.014486 cents. But again, I would be cautious with that short because money flow crossovers on the higher time frames are pretty dang fresh. And with all that being said, guys, I think that's all the time we got for tonight's live stream. I appreciate everybody for tuning in and sticking around till the end of the stream. Let's go ahead and pull up that Wheel of Pain and Pleasure. Smash that like button if you have not already. Every 100 likes we get, you guys get to spin on the Wheel of Pain and Pleasure. And you guys never know. Maybe we'll give away some Aztecian Cactus Moss Water. Maybe. Shout out. Hey, who's on TikTok? Who watches TikTok? Let me know. Because I don't know if I'm, too old to be on TikTok. But I'm on TikTok. I'll tell you that much. I watch TikTok, right? And I put TikToks out there, too. But it's mostly clips from the live stream. But there's these people on TikTok. I don't know their names. But they're like two boys. They're like two dudes. They're like two friends. And they're always like, man, we really shouldn't go to the bar tonight. We got that big exam in the morning. And his friend's like, yeah, definitely not. We definitely shouldn't do that. And then it cuts to the other friend looking at him out of the corner of his eye. And they take that to an extreme. It's hilarious. I wish I could point you towards the TikToks, but I don't know their names. So I just sharing with you aimlessly. F TikTok. Shout out to Golden. I feel the same way. But hashtag blue light addiction. Let's see. I'm on TikTok. Shout out to Mrs. Crimson Caravan. Shout out to you. Let's see. Yeah, CCP has entered the chat. I shouldn't have even said that out loud. All right. Yeah. Shout out to you guys. Yeah. Take all my information. But yeah, no. I am. TikTok is my guilty pleasure, guys. Not only because it's I feel like I'm probably too old to be on TikTok, but also because I know that it's probably a psyop. But anyway, here we go, guys. Let's go ahead and spin that Wheel of Pain and Pleasure. Don't forget to get your last minute likes in. That is not what we want. But 405 likes. All right, let's see. Hang on. What happened on the wheel? There we go. It's still spinning. What the heck? Why does that happen? Today's episode is brought to you by Lowe's. I'm just kidding. It's not. Give them a giveaway. There we go. Bing bong. Let's see. 120 new members. Golden, you need to hit me up, bro. Please, for the love of God, hit me up. He might say every time I say that, he's probably like, I hit you up, bro. And I'm just keep saying it, but I don't see it. But shout out to Golden, man. I really do appreciate all the support, man. You are absolute savage. Dave Digital says, my guilty pleasure is Russian roulette. Okay. What a coinky dink. Shout out to Dave Digital. Don't recommend Russian roulette. But hey, let's see. Maybe with a water gun. Let's see. Yo, what's your Mrs. Crimson Caravan? What's your TikTok handle? Oh my God. Did everybody just become TikTok friends? All right, let's see. Man, 412 likes. 1, 2. We got 4 giveaways for the 412 likes. Guys, don't forget to smash that like button on your way out. I appreciate every single one of you guys for tuning in and hanging out with us till the end of the stream. And yeah, with all that being said, I don't recommend TikTok. Shout out to Dave Digital. Yeah, I don't recommend it either. It's an unwanted part of my life now. It's like if I don't want to watch TikTok, I wind up watching it. And then I'm like, why am I watching this? Why can't I put this away? Why can't I turn this off? It's usually very, very late at night. And then, yeah, it's pretty brutal. But yeah, shout out to TikTok. But yeah, Chinese spyware, oh God. Dang, Billy. Thanks, Frankie. Good to hang with y'all, Mafia. Shout out to Brad, Guy, Dell. I appreciate you for tuning in, bro, guys. And with all that being said, I think that's all the time we got for tonight's live stream. I appreciate every single one of you guys hanging out till the end of the stream. We still got 396 people in here, 415 likes. Smash the like button on your way out. And with all that being said, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Same place, same time, 5:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Please, hopefully something happens to Bitcoin in that time. That's all I got. Shout out to Mrs. Candle's hand. Frankie Candles out. Bing bong.
What we got?
Yeah, time's close, I whittled them down. Sticking to them by sticking around. The gang online, Iwo Jima got one flag and it's sticking the ground. Setting up shop. Think I got the message across. Came for the titles and press of the watch. We play at the levels of Letterman jocks. Pins on the jacket, the man's abundant. The point of the road was banned and rugged. Hushing, I'm planning on pants in London. The products are not being scared of some judgment. Gotta stay in the cut. Cut you off if you ain't making the cut. Couldn't tell you who the hell is behind us. You start to forget when you stay in the front of it's up. And it's up for grabs, no remorse of who I'm taking it from. Numbers I give on my scoreboard is the only form of us staying in touch. That's saying enough. It's time to receive for all of the favors I've done. Too late for y'all to switch teams. Everybody getting big leagues. Product flying out the shelf. What's in store for us? Known to hit a hole in one. Look at the crowd and shoulder shrug. Shots are limited. I'm scared mango with the golden gun. Posted up, ready for whatever, boy. You know what's up. Time's close, I whittled them down. Sticking to them by sticking around. The gang online, Iwo Jima got one flag and it's sticking the ground. Setting up shop. Think I got the message across. Came for the titles and press of the watch. We play at the levels of Letterman jocks. Shout out to Steve. The boy getting love from the harsh critics. Strauss hit me bi-weekly to tell me keep taking it further. You aren't finished and I gotta listen. Ain't son of believing and see that I'm actually breathing and doing it real time. Love to pull an idea out thin air, act on it and profit in real life. If we not aligned, don't present me a dotted line. Yeah, I'm a QB, but I ain't handing on nothing for someone to monetize. And it goes to the birds too. Can't give it a time if a dollar so cut eyes. They get X'd out for they had the potential to be my ex. I know how to plays, I'm a seasoned vet. Yeah. Always showing up, known to hit a hole in one. Look at the crowd and shoulder shrug. Shots are limited, I'm scared mango with the golden gun. Posted up, ready for whoever, boy, you know what's up. Time's close, I whittled them down. Sticking to them by sticking around. The gang online, Iwo Jima got one flag and it's sticking the ground. Setting up shop. Think I got the message across. Came for the titles and press of the watch. We play at the levels of Letterman jocks. Time's close, I whittled them down. Sticking to them by sticking around. The gang all out, Iwo Jima got one flag. Yeah.
And we're back. Taking a look at BLZ. Shout out to Crypto 101. I forgot to send this message. I had this typed out, waiting for the song to end. But there you go. Crypto 101 said, I know he'll be back for BLZ. And here we are, back on BLZ. So here, guys, I'm going to do this super, super quick here. Money flow coming right back up on the daily time frame. This is interesting because we are making a new high here based off of this high back here from Saturday, August 19th. And so that would be somewhat of a good sign. However, your VWAP is cooling off. You do have a bearish divergence forming here on your wicks of the candle. Now, typically, I do like to see these at the bodies of the candle. However, you do have it to... Oh, my God, I forgot I can't... maybe I can't do BLZ because I'm not going to be able to do much other than draw on the chart, guys, because of what's going on with my trading view right now. I don't know why it's happening. But... we have the higher highs on our price action, or on the wicks at least, with our lower highs forming here on the daily time frame with our VWAP coming down, looking to hit that red dot. Maybe not today, but maybe tomorrow. So I would be a little bit cautious with this thing if you're looking for shorts. Just because of that money flow coming up like that, it would be a little bit alarming for me, or at least for the shorts. Also, on top of that, you do have a fresh 2-day green dot, which may be able to give you one last little push to the upside before finally rolling back over. Your 4-hour bearish divergence is printing, but again, remember, you have this fresh money flow crossover into the green. So again, I would be pretty careful here, but you are deviating from your value area with that confirmed bearish divergence. There we go. Shout out to Crimson Caravan Company. Said alligators vomit red candles. Dang right. And if you guys don't know what he's talking about, you know, if you have the open alligator mouth, that's what we call those bearish divergences. You wait for that alligator to puke out those red candles, and you see, right, this would be your teeth on the alligator, and then your other bottom jaw would be right here, and then that is your alligator mouth, and then usually it pukes out those red candles. But I would be careful here because of money flow, guys. 4-hour bear div is definitely looking to print. It is also definitely printing on your 3-hour time frame. 2-hour money flow is kind of flat here, so a little bit hard to read. What I would be doing here if I were looking to short BLZ, I would be somewhat cautious, and I would probably wait for something like the daily bear div to confirm, because this 2-day green dot may continue to push you up and actually give you a bearish divergence on the body of your candle. So it does look like this thing may want to cool off soon, but I would just be careful based off of high time frame money flow as well as the green dot or the fresh green dot on the 2-day. And before I let you guys go, God, kind of hard to, let's pull our, let me pull some fibs here. Let me pull our fib from this high to the low. Yeah, exactly as I suspected. Anyway, I would be careful, right? Because you are hitting your golden pocket, which might be a great place to get a rejection from. But with that fresh 2-day green dot and the money flow crossovers looking ripe, if you will, I would be careful of a last little push up to your 786 at about 17 cents or 0.17391. I would be careful of that little last push up before rolling over. Whether you get it or not is going to be, you know, kind of a roll of the dice here. But again, you know, I would really like to wait for that daily to cool off a little more. I don't know how much that 4-hour bear div is going to give you, especially with a fresh money flow crossover. So basically, I'd wait for maybe another push up before looking for a real short position. Maybe some scalps to be had off this local 4-hour bear div. But again, to catch that, you know, by the time this prints, you've already come down a little bit. I wouldn't really be looking to short this right now. However, it does look like it's cooling off. I would just like to wait for those higher time frames to roll back over and give us a little bit more of a clear signal. And with all that being said, that one's for you, Crypto 101. Let's go. Shout out to Joe Rod, said pulling fibs. Guys, shout out to Dave, said the encore will need an encore. The fake out needs another fake out. Shout out to Dave Digital. Maybe. I don't know. Shout out to you. That's all I got. Frankie Candles out. I'll see you guys tomorrow. ATB time, Eastern Standard. That's all I got. Frankie Candles out. Bing bong. I don't know. What am I doing?
I don't think they running at my pace. Jordan 1s, gotta keep them laced. If she bad, I might have to get a taste. Whip go vroom, I'll set them on a chase. I don't think they running at my pace. Jordan 1s, gotta keep them laced. If she bad, I might have to get a taste. Whip go vroom, I'll set them on a chase. That's the way. I said I'ma do it, I'ma get it anyways. All I do is work, I got this money on my brain. I don't like to talk, I just got way too much to say. They been trying to get me, I'ma get them out of the way. I said I'ma do it, I'ma go and get it back. We got in a whip, then I went and hit the dash. I've been thanking God for this life that I done had. I don't need opinions, dog, I only need a facts. What's real, dog? Sitting still, dog. They in they feels, dog. I got these bills, dog. Need a meal, dog. If they wantin' less, it's no deal, dog.